Is Australia still worth migrating to in 2026? Now, obviously, I'm going to be a bit biased here and say yes, but let's put the bias aside and focus on the facts. There's rising costs, more strict visa requirements, and tougher competition when it comes to getting a job. Australia hasn't closed its doors though. Australia is still planning to invite 185,000 people as part of its migration program planning. So from these 185,000, 70% are actually towards skilled migrants. That means Australia is critically short in certain skills that they really want in Australia. Now, by bringing those skills to Australia, you have a high chance of an invitation from either the government or from employer sponsorship perspective. However, temporary migrants are at a record level. There's nearly 3 million people in Australia on temporary visas. That makes up nearly 10% of the entire population of Australia. Now, to get sponsored by a company, Australia increased the minimum salary that you need to be offered, which is around $76,515 plus the mandatory superannuation, which is a contribution towards your retirement fund, which is at 12% at the moment. On top of that, $76,515. Now, this figure is increased every financial year, so it'll increase again on 1st July 2026. But let's talk money. Migration is an expensive process, and we're going to be honest and upfront about the costs involved with this. If you're going through employer sponsorship, the estimated cost is between $15,000 and $20,000 if you're using a migration consultant. Now, this includes the cost for the company and yourself. If you have family members, the cost can be slightly higher as well. Now, this can potentially be the 482, which is a temporary visa, or even a permanent visa like the 186. When it comes to general skilled migration, which is where you're relying on your own skills and the points claim, that can be anywhere between around $7,000, $8,000 all the way up to $15,000, depending on whether you've done your NATI. Skills assessment is mandatory. There's a cost involved with that as well. Then your English test, police clearances, government fees, consulting fees, and whatever else you've done to try and gain those points, excluding the education cost. On top of this, the student visa fee has nearly doubled in the last few years. So it is now sitting at $2,000 for every student that wants to apply. And living costs, especially in cities like Sydney, is exponentially higher than other cities. To live in a city like Sydney, you're looking at a cost of around $3,000 per month. And it might be slightly less for other states. So, is Australia still worth migrating to? The migration numbers say yes. There's still a huge amount of people that want to apply for the great lifestyle, but you do really have to work hard to try and get a job and settle here, because it is very expensive to live in Sydney because of the high rent, high grocery costs, and then couple that with expensive travel. And then if you want a good lifestyle, then you potentially need to aim at higher skilled jobs, or even in trades, which is still considered high skills, and you can be paid quite well, anywhere from $100,000 and up. Now, we'll be making another video about the highest paying occupations, and check that out if you want to focus on those industries.